My 25 wife died 19 months ago. It was real hard on my the first few months, but finally started putting myself back out there. I met girlfriend, 23, 7 months ago. It was going pretty well and she moved into my apartment around 4-ish months ago. In hindsight, we probably rushed this. My girlfriend is very overprotective and clingy and scared of me cheating as she's been hurt in the past. I let her have my phone password so she could ease her mind. She saw a photo of me and wife and asked who she was, and I explained. She seemed to take it well but was a little bit awkward about it. Fast forward 3 days and I go to take a shower and leave my phone on charge in the bedroom. I come out to see my phone unlocked. Weird, but I let it slide. Later in that day I go through my photos to upload a new profile picture to Facebook. All the photos of my wife and me and her together are gone without a trace. I check my Snapchat, my eyes only, because I had a few in there along with intimate photos of us together. I knew it was my girlfriend. I confronted her about it and she started yelling. She said I need to get over it and get rid of all the reminders of my wife because she was here now. She also called me really creepy for having nude pictures of a dead girl. Granted, I probably should have deleted those a long time ago, but I didn't want to because they were special to me. Might be idiot on my part there. I was livid. I told her to get out. She stared at me in disbelief as I told her again. She packed some stuff and left. I went to my room and cried. I woke up to many missed calls and angry texts from her and her friends for calling me the idiot. This might not have been a big deal, but she permanently got rid of 95% of the pictures of my wife. I still have some printed, like the wedding and some vacations, but I'm still missing a big chunk of them. I feel like she deleted a part of me as well. I've had to block multiple numbers, including my sister's. What the hell? I do miss her though and want to talk, but I'm confused. Am I in the wrong? Who the hell thinks it's okay to delete someone else's photos? Doesn't matter what it is. But especially photos of their precious spouse who passed away. Those photos being there did not hurt her in any way. I'm sorry this happened. Are you able to retrieve some kind of backup? I've seen miracles happen for people who have lost special photos. It is a big deal. A huge deal. She permanently deletes photos of your dead wife. You can't get those back and they are lost forever. And to have done it out of jealousy, that's a red flag. Don't take her back. You can never get those photos back, but you sure as hell can protect yourself from the crazy that is your ex-girlfriend. Everyone's the idiot here. It sounds like you started this relationship without being upfront about having been married before. You said that she asked you who this girl was on your phone, and this was after she moved in. It's insane to me that this girl would be living with you without knowing you were previously married. She should not be going through your phone and deleting your photos, but you should have been upfront with her about your previous life. As a side note, this sub is so quick to jump to one side or another without looking at the whole picture. It's unbelievable how many people are saying she's the only one that is screwed up here. My wife, 60, and I, 63, have 7 children, 35, 33, 29, 23, 20, 20. I only listed 6 children because one child died when she was 3, she would have been 28. After she died, my wife and I got into our own deep depressions. I threw myself into work. My wife found other ways to deal with her grief. She started a short affair with a man. They broke it off when I found out and I took her back. We decided to try to be a family again. But my wife found out she was pregnant with 23 by this man. I decided to raise the child as my own, as the father was not ready to be a father. He was only 19 years old at the time. 23 always knew she was a little different. We all have brown hair and she's blonde, but we didn't tell her the truth about her biological father until she was 18. She was surprised and upset, but eventually accepted it. I was always close to her, and even though it was rough for a few years, we're closer than ever. My other daughter, 33, started dating a man, Jack. This turned out to be 23's bio dad. Before it gets weird, keep in mind he and 33 are only 10 years apart in age, and he's closer to her age than ours. They eventually ended up marrying. Been married for a year now. I'm only human, so I admit I did have a problem at first, but I've come to accept it. He treats my daughter well and they have a lot of common interests. Eventually 23 and I ended up telling the family the truth about her parentage when 33 started dating Jack. Everyone was weirded out at first but did come to peace with it. The problem is my wife. Since 33 started dating Jack, My wife has yelled and screamed at her to break it off. I hardly see 33 anymore because when she visits my wife starts shouting at her that what she's doing is wrong. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. He was a dumb kid who made a mistake. I haven't seen my daughter since Thanksgiving and I told my wife I was going to go play mini golf with her this weekend. My wife was furious with me. She was upset that I would not cut 33 out of my life, cut Jack out, spent time with 33, among other many things. I told her she was being angry for no reason and if she has a problem with them then it's her problem and not mine. She called me an idiot and is not speaking to me. I'm sleeping in the spare bedroom. I wonder if what I said was too harsh. Maybe I should have supported my wife in her anger, but I honestly cannot see how her anger is justified. She's literally the only person who has a problem with this and she's the one being aggressive towards our children and Sil. I tend not to agree with aggressive people. But what does everyone else think? Not the idiot. The only idiots here are your wife for cheating and the guy who married 33. He knew your wife's name, first and last, and likely knew all of your children's names as well. He absolutely knew that your daughter was his ex's daughter. And, if he didn't for some whatever reason, it's practical to ask someone with the same last name if they're related to the person you had a kid with. I get that they're in love and married now. And, I think that you are correct in accepting them now that everything has settled. But, that guy is super freaking weird in my opinion. Everyone's the idiot here. I cannot imagine knowing that your daughter is sleeping with the same guy you did, and who is actually the father of your child. I say everyone's the idiot here because everyone seems to be focused on their own feelings, and there's not a lot of communication between you. You and your wife need to try couples therapy, because it sounds like neither of you understand the other's position. This will be an unpopular opinion, but Jack is the idiot. Has it ever occurred to this man that women his age exist? He may not find it creepy to date and marry the daughter of his affair partner, but creepy is exactly what it comes down to. He can't work off the 24-year-old PTSD he may have experienced at 19 by marrying his one-time mistress's daughter. I, 45, have been with my partner for 22 years, and we've lived together for 19 years. We also have 3 kids. However, we've never married. There are a few reasons, but the main one is that we simply do not want to. However, I still love to refer to him as my husband and he refers to me as his wife. We mostly use partner though. All of my friends as well as my family are aware of this. A lot of them find it a bit weird that we would use marital terms even though we aren't married, but they accept it. Just under a year ago, my younger brother got married. About a week ago, him and his wife had dinner at my house. It was the first time we were able to have dinner with them in about a year, as we live in separate countries, and due to the ongoing events, they were only able to recently get flights. My sister-in-law came up to me following the meal and told me that it was extremely disrespectful for me to use marital terms when I'm not married. She claimed that I wanted to take the best parts of marriage without earning them, and that if I wanted to be referred to as a wife or refer to my man as my husband, then perhaps I should get married. I laughed, and I pointed out that I've been with my partner for more than 22 years, and that my youngest child was older than her entire relationship. The argument immediately escalated, and she ended up storming out with her husband. My partner doesn't think it's a big deal if we stop doing it, but I love being referred to as wife. I just don't want to get married. Am I the idiot for using marital terms even though I'm not married? I do admit that my reaction probably wasn't very nice, however, I was really offended by what she said. I thought it was obnoxious and entitled, especially since we don't know each other all that well. Everyone's the idiot here, she shouldn't have said anything. But it does seem a little hypocritical to say you're not married simply because you don't want to be married but also refer to someone as if married. I mean, I don't really care, you certainly have a committed and lasted relationship, but it's a bit odd. He isn't your husband. You aren't his wife. Everyone's the idiot here. The SIL has a point. That's like calling yourself doctor when you haven't earned a doctorate. It's not just a piece of paper, it's about a legal and moral commitment. They want to use the title and get the social perks. If you don't want to get married, don't. But don't use the terms that indicate marriage if you disdain marriage. Anyone that thinks marriage, at least in the US, is just a piece of paper needs to sit down, shut up, and read up on marriage laws. Not the idiot. People made the same argument about us gays using the term husband when gay people were literally together for years and getting married was illegal. You all are allowed to call each other whatever you want and your sister-in-law can deal with it. Maybe you don't use those terms when you're in her house, but in your own space, let them fly. I feel extremely petty for even asking this, but my ex's teenage son had still access to my Disney Plus account and I deleted the profile he made without even asking me. I logged in one night when I was at her house to watch something with her youngest daughter, and I presume since then it stayed. Me and my ex broke up, for one reason or the other, and we haven't spoken after the breakup. She has 2 young children possibly interested into watching the streaming service. One is 7 and it's absolute angel, the other one is 16 and I honestly couldn't stand him when we were together. My resentment towards him started a little bit before things broke off with his mother, and I could sense that he just couldn't stand the living life out of me. Once he didn't even let me inside the house, when I was carrying food for all of us, but just got the food and closed the door after himself. His mother also lied to him about me making me look like the worst human possible, and that I ruined her life. Anyhow, back to Disney Plus, I don't watch it that much. I made it because I like the classic and I thought it would be nice to have a platform with all of them in one place, and kept it ever since. Recently they updated their contract and added more streaming services, so I went to see what was it all about, and that's when I saw that my ex's son created his own profile and is watching his own things. I can tell it's not the youngest one because it's not something she would be interested in. I hesitated at first, thinking why would I prevent a 16-year-old from watching something, and if I had issues with his mother it doesn't mean I should be an A towards him. Then I thought about how his mother treated me, how he treated me, and how I felt when things were pretty bad in my relationship. So I deleted it, thinking to myself that if he believes his mother's words he shouldn't even bother, and that if he wants to watch it he has a father and can ask him to get an account. Nevertheless, I got a text from ex saying how could I do that to a child, and that I should be ashamed, and feel guilty for not enabling him to study. I don't know how is he studying via Disney Plus, but that's down to him and to whatever he told his mother. Sorry for the long post. Anyway, am I the idiot for deleting my ex's teen soon profile from my streaming account, and changing my password? Not the idiot. Pretty sure they have Star Wars on Disney Plus. You should text your ex back, the entitlement is strong with this one, then block her dumb butt. In what world does having an ex mean having to bankroll them, never mind their kids, because you once dated? Some people are so far off the reservation it blows my mind. Slightly unpopular aside, but I think there is a particular type of person that is already entitled, has a kid, and then the entitlement becomes stage 4 metastatic idiocy. Seems like that's what's happened here. If he had needed it to study he could have asked your permission before he started using it. He didn't, he stole it from you. Definitely not the idiot. If anyone should feel shame it should be your ex for allowing her son to steal from you. Things could have gone differently had she been the mature one and asked permission. Not the idiot. They have no right to expect having services provided by someone they aren't even speaking to. The fact that they are not in good financial shape is not your issue unless you swindled them out of their savings or something. And since that isn't in your post, I'm going to assume you didn't. Don't feel guilty. They are not entitled to a streaming service they can't pay for. I, 26, think my girlfriend, 24, got bored during the lockdowns last year and has gained an obsession with witchcraft. She keeps saying that she's a witch and she has filled our house with herbs, candles, crystals, rune sets and weird trinkets. At first I didn't care because I thought it'd be a temporary thing, but I was very wrong. She gets up at 3 in the morning just to do rituals and spells or whatever it is witches do. My girlfriend burns so much incense that it gives me a headache and makes our house smell strange. I hate it. She also tries to make me drink random herbal teas that taste like crap. I really was trying to be supportive, but it's starting to frustrate me. A few hours ago, I came home from work and as soon as she saw me she told me that she senses bad energy and started spraying some mist thing on and around me. So I may have snapped and told her that she was acting crazy and she needs to let this witch thing go because she's not a real freaking witch. My girlfriend was offended and told me I wasn't a supportive boyfriend, that I was acting disrespectful towards her beliefs, and now she's refusing to talk to me until I apologize. Am I the idiot? Starting to wonder if I should have just kept my mouth shut. She has a right to her beliefs, but it seems like it's getting disruptive towards you. Have you tried talking to her about the incense use or the herbal teas? It seems like you guys need to have a talk about whether or not her new beliefs are a deal breaker for you. I'm going to tentatively say everyone's the idiot here, Because I don't know if you've asked her to not include you or if she thought you were okay with everything until you blew up at her and basically told her her beliefs were wrong. If people want to practice whatever woo-woo they want, they can, until they start affecting others or pushing it on others. It sounds like between 3 a.m. rituals, burning incense, and dousing you with witch water, she's very much pushing it on you. Unfortunately, it sounds like she's pretty set in her newfound beliefs or ideals, and it doesn't sound like you respect that, nor does it sound like she respects your personal space, feelings on the matter. No idiots here, but I wish people would voice their issues before they got to the point of snapping. If you could calmly remind her that you also live in the house, and you're uncomfortable with everything that she is doing, then you could probably come to a compromise. I think you should apologize to her for snapping, but explain the sentiment behind it, and try to make her see things from your point of view.